Hey guys, JC Smith here. Today we are working on this truck. This is a 2013 F550. It's four-wheel drive. It's a 6.7 diesel. It has 16,000 miles on it. It got in the rose bushes, and when I say the rose bushes, those were the biggest, strongest, hardiest rose bushes and did tons of damage. I typically don't buy trucks like this because it has frame damage, but this truck has 16,000 miles and it's a 6.7 diesel. It's an 84 cab to axle. Like I said, it's four-wheel drive. Let me show you what the frame damage is here. So this frame horn, this is all scratched up from me using the skid steer today to move it around, but it's hard to tell, but that frame is supposed to be, this outside should be right over here. So I had this up, well, I had it to a body shop, and then I talked to Ford also. And what Ford tells me they do in this situation, if it's a fairly new truck, is they'll take the front section, which is spliced right here. They'll cut this out, these welds, they'll cut the rivets out, and they will replace the front section of the frame. They build this is an F550 front frame, and from what we understand, the F550 and 450s are the same, and the difference is in the rear where I showed you before. So they take them apart here, and then Ford makes the rear section of the frame is set up for your different cab configurations, and then your cab to axle. Now this truck ended up in the middle of the median where they had cables. If you ever seen those I-beams that come up out of the ground and they have cables running through them, he hit something. Whatever happened, he swerved, he went into there, and man, it just peeled these doors like a can opener. I mean, look at that. And it pushed in the bottom rocker. Well, the body shop told me they could take it loose here and they could put a whole another side on this, but it would be just that, it would be a repair. And you know, they'd be going clear up here into this, that sun glare is going to get us into the A-pillar and all this interstructure, and I prefer not to do that. So I bought another parts truck. It's a 2014 F450, so I have, and it's a crew cab, so I think we have all the parts we need. I'm sure there'll be incidentals that I don't know about, or that'll come up or whatever. I'm gonna try and get out of this wind here, see if this will help. I don't normally do frame work because, you know, I just don't like it, but we're gonna get the cab off and we're gonna do some measurements. We'll check it for square, you know, for the section where I'm gonna cut it, right in here back. I want to make sure that frame section is still straight and true. If I lift the cab off, I take the engine transmission transfer case out, and it looks like it's possible there's damage somewhere else, I won't fool with it. I'll call Ford, I'll order a new frame. It's $2,800 if I remember right, and we'll just put a new frame under it. It'll be worth it. And you might ask why I just don't put the motor transmission transfer case in the parts truck, the donor truck. And one is, it's a 450, and two, it's got 140,000 miles, and that's got 16, which means front axle, rear axle, much lower miles, you know. So that's where we're headed with this. My son's here working with me today, so he's going to start taking this apart. He's done this several times with me, so this is something he can do, and I'm going to get back on that. I'm going to work on that today, see where I can get with it. So this is going to be the next project. We got rain coming, so I didn't want to work on the other truck I had pulled in here because it had to be half in, half out. It was too big. So we're going to try and get this thing torn apart. Like I said, we're going to take cab off, engine, transmission, transfer case comes out because I got to do frame work, and it needs to be out of the way to do the cut and welding if we go that way. It's riveted on. The front section is riveted to the rear section, and the rivets, when I measured them from what I was on another frame, I think I'm gonna have to use a metric bolt. The grading system on metric bolts is completely different. I don't want to change the hole size. From what I understand from the body shop at Ford, they were telling me that those rivets are how they get it aligned at the factory. So it needs to be a very, very tight fit, plus the welding. My son's a welder, so I'm not worried about that. And this is not a truck we're selling. This truck is going to be mine, so I'll probably put some type of nice Western hauler bed on it or something like that. And you may see later on we'll change that suspension from spring to air ride. I've got a really nice Volvo suspension that would be nice in the back of that truck. It'll be a pain in the butt to get it on there, but it'll be worth it. So this is our next project. Stick around. I'm gonna update. I'm not gonna post this video till we get the cab off, and hopefully that'll be today. Typically this cab, if it's not mangled up, we can have that off in less than 2 hours. It's usually pretty quick. So stick around. And if I'm gonna mention again, any of you guys, everybody that's watching our videos, those thumbs up that you give us mean a lot. We appreciate it. It does a lot for us. So stick around. We'll get you some more. Okay guys, so here you can tell much easier now how much damage there was. Let me go back this way. It's kind of easier to see now, maybe. The whole rocker is rolled under. So I didn't want to split the body here and then, you know, have all these spot welds redone and all this crap. So that's why we opted for another body, whole another full cab. And then also what you can see now is this is part of the inner structure, which is this. This only fits 11 through 16 that I remember. 8 to 10, 2008 to 2010 will not fit. So this would have had to been repaired and welded in, and you get to a point where, you know, it's no longer a nice truck because it's had so much weld work done to it. So anyways, now you can see what it looks like with the cab off. Comes that daggum wind again. So it's lunchtime now, so we're gonna eat some lunch and get that motor and transmission out. All right, guys, catch you on next. On that wind. All right, guys, so you see it's off. What time do you start on this? About 10:30, 11 maybe. I don't remember exactly. We fooled around with getting it loaded up and bringing it down, and so it's probably about 11 o'clock. It's about noon now, somewhere around there, and the cab's off. So if you haven't seen one before, this is what a 6.7 looks like. It is a huge mountain of, what's a good word for that? Crap. Yeah, that's the word. It fits under the hood, but just. It is jam-packed. And this is how massive that transmission is. That's a 6R140, and you can look at this. Look how much different it is here. This is just so much bigger than the 5R110. It's just pretty amazing. So our next step is we're going to take motor, transmission, transfer case out of the frame, and then once we get ready, we'll get all that out and we'll start doing our measurements, and we'll see what the frame looks like. Make sure that the back half doesn't have any twists or any damage, and then we'll start separating right here. So there's where we're at for now, and I'm going to cut this one because that's probably going to be getting pretty long on this one now. So I'm going to cut out of here, and don't forget, you know, we need these. So we'll catch you on the next one. Okay, guys, it is ready to come out. There are no lift points on this engine anywhere. Those of you who are not familiar with 6.7, everything's completely backwards. This is Ford's design, not International. So the exhaust manifolds, as you can see, maybe you can't see, it's so tight in here, but these are the exhaust manifolds, okay? So they're in the valley. Now, there's nothing down here at all. As you see, that's just the head. The intake is part of the rocker cover. Boy, it's so hard to point out. But, geez. Yeah, very hard to point out because everything's so tight, but this is the rocker cover here, and that is also the intake, just kind of like International does on the DT466. But there's nowhere to lift on this engine. So what we've done is we've made a spreader bar here and ran a strap down to the engine mounts. That way we got it away from the engine on both sides, and we got a C-clamp, which isn't exactly ideal, but it should be fine. So that's how we're going to pull it out, and we're going to get to it right now. This one we got wrapped around the transmission. You're going to grab all the weight here. Transfer case doesn't weigh a whole lot, so I'm not really concerned about that as much as that big transmission. I mean, I wish I had a 5R110 sitting here to put it beside, because you just can't imagine how much bigger this transmission is than a 5R110. But hang on, we're going to set the camera up and we're going to pull it out of here. You can see how we're going to do it. So hang on. Okay, so this is a closer look. This is the front of the 6.7. This has 2 water pumps because it has 2 radiators. This is the water pump, which goes back into behind the timing cover, and the fan, the clutch fan housing. Okay, it's electrically controlled fan clutch. This comes off, and the water pump's way back in here. This is a second water pump. This is for the EGR cooler, the intercooler. It doesn't have a traditional intercooler. It has a intercooler. It's just a real small box. I don't know if it's sitting around here. Real small aluminum box, kind of might remind you of a heater core, and the charge air comes into it and back out, and it's cooled by antifreeze on this, which has its own separate radiator. Like I was saying, it's pretty backwards because all the exhaust manifolds are in the valleys, or in the valley I mean, and the intake, it's just so hard to see because I mean it's jam-packed. I mean, there's no room for anything here. But that's it. That's out. It worked well. It came out nicely. So if you ever have to pull a 6.7, maybe you'll do it like we just did. Who knows? But all right. So I'm going to get up here to the frame, give you an idea. You get a better look at how bad the frame is and why it needs to be replaced. It's probably a little easier to see now. Yeah, you can see. You see this rail here, how bad it's been in. It's not only bent in, it's twisted this way. So like I said, now you can see what we're going to do here on the frame. It'll make a whole lot more sense now. So here's that splice. This is inside the frame, and you can see Ford slides this into here, and it's got a weld up in here. It's kind of hard to see, but this is pretty simple. We should be able to take care of that pretty well. We're going to get on the measurements and see if the rest of the frame is still square, or if we need to just go get another frame. If we get another one, I'm not sure if I'll do used or if I'll just, order a brand new one. But anyways, we'll bring it along. I'm going to cut this one short because we're getting some time on this video. It's getting kind of long, but like I said, don't forget to like, subscribe, and we need these. You know, these help us a lot. Any comments, questions, man, put them in the comment section and we'll get back to you. All right, we'll see you on the next one. Okay guys, the front axle's out, the engine's out. We are now getting ready to set this down, level it up, and start separating the frame. I got a little bit more of wiring to get out of here so we don't destroy it. We'll pull all this back out, get it out of the way, and we will hopefully, what time is it? Gotta be about 3 o'clock or so, I think. 3:49. So we're gonna see if we can get this cut out. It won't be a clean cut. It won't be ready to go back together, but it'll be cut like where we can start working on it. Has to come off over in here and such, but we'll probably cut it like right in here after the splice. So that's what we're after now. We're gonna get it leveled up and we'll get on it.